Since my kids started primary school, my phone has been a lot noisier. With 3 kids, you can imagine how many parents' WhatsApp chat groups I'm in.
If you're a parent, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But recently, I've been wondering if these WhatsApp group chats are a good idea.
But we heard from the parents and children earlier.
Back in August, I had a discussion with Education Minister Ong Ye Kung, and this issue came up. Are parents' group chats becoming toxic?
If it becomes a forum for comparing, that my kid or taekwondo, how come yours don't have? I'm waking up at 5:30 to study, how come you're not?
But Diana, let me ask you, because I know you're in a chat group and you were saying you would never leave it.
Will I leave it? I had never actually thought of it that way before, but it's good that you put that in my head so that I will navigate very, very carefully. In this episode, I'm going to figure out if I should stay in the parents' WhatsApp group chats or cut off all ties. And to help me decide, I'll speak to people from both sides of the fence. Those who believe there is a need for such group chats and those who don't.
I'm starting with this group of parents.
One of the few guys.
Who's in a parents' WhatsApp chat group? Okay, ooh, Winston, you're not. Have you never been in a chat or...
I was in a chat from when my child was primary 1 up to primary 3.
And the main reason that you left it?
It was annoying. There was a lot of idiosyncrasies on Sunday nights, especially. There'd be a flurry of messages. Like, any homework we needed to do it over the weekend, and we realized that we have certain parents who will go into the chat and ask, oh, how have your kids' results been? My kids' results are this. So after a while, it started getting a little bit annoying. We sort of just drifted away from the whole entire scene.
What about the rest of you? Do you have the same experience?
No, not for me. I am in there mainly because I'm the forgetful kind. So the group is very useful for me in a way that it reminds me of dates that I could have missed out.
I may be the annoying parent that Winston face. Because as a working mom, right, I rely on the chat a lot.
So I've done a bit of research, and it seems that generally in online communities, which is essentially what parents' WhatsApp chat groups are, researchers have come up with this theory, the 90, 9 and 1. So think of it as a pyramid. At the bottom layer, you're going to have the majority of people, which is 90% of people, who keep very quiet. They just watch and observe and read the messages. And then as you go up the pyramid, you're going to have the 9% of people. That's the 9% of people who are active in these conversations. So they actively participate, they ask questions, they provide answers. Then right at the very top of the pyramid, you are going to have that 1% of people who are very, very active. I suppose we would term them as the more on sort of parents who are going to be providing a lot of information and to some extent guidance as well. What type of parent are you?
I exist in different groups. So for the most part, when I'm in there to just absorb information, I'll be part of the 90%.
I would say more to the 9%.
I'll be maybe 1% in those groups that I administer.
Who belong to the 9% or the 1%? Because
I'm definitely in the 90%. Now that pyramid was just a bird's eye view of most online communities. But I also came across some specific descriptors of typical parents in these chat groups. So I got my friend Andrew Lua to help me dramatize it for this group. I want to know if these parents can recognize themselves in some of these characters.
What? The year-end exams are this coming Monday. What is it? Monday is P attire? Reply. No reply. I know you see it. Monday exam ready. You're welcome. Ayo! Ay, why it's so complicated? My God, tuition almost. Oh, baby.
Oh, what is it now? Oh, you plebeians. How's your child's revision coming along?
Already tested some of these chapters in the mid. Oh, so much negativity. Sending positive vibes. Namaste here. Girl. Wow. Fit ah. My girl is all good. Also scoring at the protest. Send. Hey. Go idea.
So, do you all relate to that content?
I'm the last one.
Okay.
Try to send positive vibes.
How do you try to send positive vibes?
In situation whereby you feel that the tension is building up, like resentment against the teachers, someone has got to be there to put out the fire.
Okay, that's interesting. Karen, yourself?
I think I could be a lurker. I could be the know-it-all too.
Winston, for yourself, I want to ask you, is there any category that we have not covered in the video?
The competitive, yeah, that's the one that I've seen as the most stand out in my experience.
I myself have never encountered Winston's competitive parents on my WhatsApp group chats. How would one handle them? I know just the person to answer that. With 3 kids, 2 in primary school and 1 in preschool, William Chu is the de facto policeman on his WhatsApp group chats with other parents. His role, making sure the chats stay civil.
Hi, William. Hi. Thanks for talking to us. Hey, kids. Why do you think there's a need for the role of an admin like yourself?
I could feel some parents, they try to like dig out information, like what's your kid's score, something like that. And then of course, I being an admin, I will like try to tell them, please do not compare. I always feel like we need to have someone like to be the neutral party, to let everyone, every members of this group chat have a peace of mind. For example, simple rule like no messaging after say 11 or late hours, and no sensitive issue, no bad mouth each other.
So I'm trying to evaluate whether I should leave my WhatsApp chat groups. What do you think?
If you can 100% depend on your kids, that means you do not rely on this information center, you can do it.
That's a really good question. Can I rely on my kids to keep up with what's going on in school? I'm still not sure. But one thing is clear. Based on the talks I have with parents so far, these group chats are useful, but they can have a few bad eggs.
One day we received a message. It was a picture message. This parent circled my child.
I am on a personal quest to figure out whether I should stay or leave my parents' WhatsApp group chats. For some parents, these chats haven't been all good. Banu Patiban is one of them. Her daughter was singled out within days of joining the group.
What is this? Last year, somewhere around January, when my girl is starting her P1, me and my husband, we were at work. We received a message. It was a picture message. This parent actually circled my child. The parent actually wrote, "Can I know who is the parent of this child?"
At the point when you saw that your daughter's face had been circled, what was the first reaction that you had?
I was quite shocked and, of course, upset.
Why were you upset?
Everyone will be thinking something is wrong, so that's the reason my child was circled. It's not a very nice thing to be done. I had a parents approaching me to ask me, hey, actually what happened the other day? Why was your daughter circled? Was there a problem between you and the mom?
Banu reached out to the parent privately. It turns out their kids had a minor dispute in school, a matter they would eventually resolve.
I think it's better approached by going to the parent directly rather than circling in a group chat.
After the incident, did you consider leaving the group?
No, I didn't. Both me and my husband, both of us are working. If either one of us going to leave the chat group, I think we'll be missing out a lot of things.
So I'm on a journey to decide whether I should stay or leave my class chat groups. What is your advice?
I think you must stay. Even there's a bad thing which is happening, it's better that we get updates from the parents and being put in the dark when we don't know anything. So it's better to stay in the group chat.
Even though Banu felt that her daughter was unnecessarily singled out in the chat group, she still chose to stay in the group. I reckon that's because of FOMO, fear of missing out. And I can understand that because as parents, we all want to know what our kids are up to in school.
WhatsApp could be a tool to help improve such parental involvement. But one study says the use of such communication channels could expose disparaging remarks about the teacher to all parents and cause the teacher to experience insults and contempt from parents. Lenny Shafawati was a primary school teacher for 14 years, but she gave it all up a year ago to become a full-time tutor. One of the reasons? Having to manage difficult parents offline and online, even when she's not part of these WhatsApp group chats.
You will think twice about what you say in class because you are afraid that whatever you say will be misinterpreted by the kids. And then it goes home and it becomes another story. Parents will spread it out amongst themselves, changes the whole story. Parents are more quick to share the negatives rather than the positives.
Share with me a specific incident when the parents' WhatsApp chat group impacted you in a big way.
Oh, okay. Because I teach math, so sometimes we have a class of 40 pupils. So we do marking there. Sometimes we have to do speed marking. There was once this parent, she took a snapshot and she, put it in a chat group and she said, "You all better check your kids' work. This teacher just anyhow marked." It was actually just one question marked wrongly. The parents, nowadays they're a bit kiasu, they get a bit kanchiong, so they all panicked and they started checking each and every one of their kids' work, I was a bit upset because it's just a small matter. You don't have to make a mountain out of a molehill. You could have just asked me, I could have checked.
But let me just challenge you a little bit. From a parent's point of view, I find that the parents' WhatsApp chat group also allows for some kind of checks and balances because it cannot be that what happens within the school stays inside the school.
Yes.
Because if there are real issues there, then parents should know about it. What do you make of this?
I think in that sense it's good, but I think it's always good to always check back with the teacher involved rather than going straight to school leaders.
The main reason why I'm in these chat groups is because I'm worried that the kids may not be paying attention in class or they forget to take down notes. But is my filling in the gaps inadvertently hurting them?
It's not easy being a working mum to two primary school-going kids. Between work, school, and enrichment classes, there's a lot to keep up with. So class WhatsApp group chats are a treat.
Thank you.
They spoil me because I can rely on others for information I need. But now I'm starting to wonder if it's also made my kids reliant on me.
Do you think that parents' WhatsApp chat groups are good or bad?
Good, so that in case the children never listen properly, then they still know when to go to school or when there's a test. Because sometimes you can remind me and if there's things here or something the next week or something in case I don't know.
But aren't you supposed to pay attention in class?
In case
In case of what?
we forget.
Okay, so my kids are as dependent on these chat groups as I am. Is that the case with all our children? Hello! I've gathered a group of 5 primary school pupils to find out.
How many of you, your parents, are in the parents' WhatsApp chat group?
There's this homework I often forget. And then after that, the parents will tell my mom about it. And then they ask me like, Xavier, do you complete your homework? And I'm like, oh no.
And then what happens? You get scolded?
Yeah, the bad part comes when the parents share other people's results and then you're like, why you see this? If you see this who so or whoever, you got higher marks and then blah blah blah.
Yeah, like sometimes when you compare results in the chat, so like when everybody got better than you, you feel kind of bad. Sometimes you can take like a positive take on it if it's like the first time or the second time, but when it always happens, you feel kind of like bad that you can't be better than like the rest of your classmates.
Oh no. Do you find that, for example, you forget to write down your homework, mommy and daddy will say, okay, don't worry, I will check with the WhatsApp chat group. Then slowly, you will feel, I remember how to write down my homework for what? There's always the parents' WhatsApp chat group to fall back on. And ultimately, it will make you maybe pay less attention in class or less independent. What do you think?
I remember this time and I missed out a day of school, and then I didn't get some of the notes because everybody thought, oh, I can just go back onto the parents group chat, I don't need to copy the notes, so nobody copied the notes on the board.
What if one day someone's going to come in and say, we will abolish all parents chat groups? How will you all feel about it? Do you want that to happen? Raise your hand.
No. I think that means that we have to pay more attention at school.
Despite the fact that these chat groups can create competition, kids still want their parents to be part of them. Are these chats creating a crutch mentality in our kids?
And then they ask the kids to solve it.
To discuss what we can do as a family to manage media and technology moving forward in 2020.
Parent coach and digital literacy educator Carol Lloyd conducts workshops on how to parent in a digital age.
From speaking to the children, they are looking at WhatsApp chat group as a fallback platform. And therefore, if there's a WhatsApp chat group, mommy or daddy knows what's going on, and therefore I won't get into trouble in school. Is that something that we should worry about?
If we really want to support our children's learning, it doesn't help that we provide them with a crutch all the time. Then we may not be really helping our children in that sense.
I suppose the easy way is to get the information and spoon feed them the information.
I find that discussing with them, helping them to see that there are consequences to some of the things that they might have forgotten, or what do they learn from the whole experience. That is more important than going straight to just do the easy way, get the information for them and just give it to them like that.
I think if there is anything that would push me to leave these chats, is that I may be making my daughters overly dependent on me. So for the next week, I'm going to live in a world without parents' WhatsApp groups.
Actually, my producer wanted me to do this experiment a month ago, but the girls were having exams and I didn't want to risk them missing out on anything important. So here I am, a week after the exams, and done. All muted. How was class?
Okay.
Good. This one said good. Okay, Mama has something to tell you all. I have decided that I am going to leave the parents' WhatsApp chat group for a while.
What? Okay.
Okay, why? How come your reaction so big?
Why?
Because I would like to see if I can depend on you all to take note of what's happening.
Okay.
What do you think, Jen?
What if I miss something?
That will be a problem, wouldn't it? What do you think, Jen? What if she forgets something?
Just ask a classmate.
Ask a classmate?
Maybe listen very, very, very carefully.
You have to listen very, very, very 3 times carefully, okay? You promise?
If I have homework or any announcements, I can write in my school diary.
Okay, set. So Mama has already muted my WhatsApp chat group. When school starts tomorrow, you girls are on your own, okay?
Okay.
Very good. Don't look so worried.
Okay. And so it begins.
Okay, so this is end of day one. The two chats have been really quiet, so it's kind of nice. I do have a question, and that is, when is going to be the last day of school, which is coming up soon? Since I can't post the question onto the two chats, I shall have to brief my girls tomorrow morning and tell them to go to school and check with their friends and check with their teachers. I hope that they can remember. And okay. So the girls forgot to find out when's the last day of school. One said, I think it's this day. The other one said, no, I think it's the other day. I really had to fight back the temptation not to reach out for the phone and check with the other mommies and daddies. Okay, so the girls forgot to ask their teacher again, when is the last day of school? I'm very tempted to call the school office to check, but I think that will be quite embarrassing because it shows that as a mother, I don't keep track of such things. Okay, so today is the last day of the experiment. The girls have come back with their answers on when is the last day of school. Number 2 says it's Thursday. Number 3 says that it's Wednesday. I have decided that I'm not going to verify that information and I shall have to trust them. That's the key thing about wanting them to be independent, isn't it? Because at some point, I have to believe them. I think that if I had to go without the parents' WhatsApp chat group, I would probably survive. I mean, you get used to these things. However, it would mean that I have to be a lot more on the ball and try to keep track of what the children are up to in school by checking their journals, reading my letters properly, and keeping all the letters from the school properly and all that, which I haven't really been doing.
So, am I going to stay on these chat groups?
The answer is yes, because let's face it, these chat groups are very useful, especially for working moms like myself. However, I will try to make sure that my girls don't become overly reliant on them, and I will definitely try to be mindful about what I post on these chat groups.